Welcome to another episode of Every Day is a New Day. I am your host, Kim O'Neill. And if you've seen this show before, you may know this as the inspirational interview show about moving forward beyond challenging times. With that said, I am in the process of making some adjustments. So this is also fun conversations with Kim and her awesome guests. With that said, I'm super excited to share with you today my guest, Cindy J. Holbrook, also known as the Visibility Wiz. We're going to learn more about Cindy. We're going to hear about her entrepreneurial journey, how she got started. And we're also going to get to hear about her upcoming Rocking Online Visibility Summit, which I'm super excited because I got to be a guest in that. So with that said, hello and welcome, Cindy.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Well, so let's see here. I have just a little bit more about you I can share with people. You help solopreneurs and small business owners get seen and get clients fast. But it's so awesome to have you here because you can tell us a little bit more in your words, who you are and what do you do?
Who I am, that's like a long story. No.
All of us, yes.
I help people with their visibility. I live in a very small area, a very small community. Whenever I became a coach back in 2009, I had to really utilize everything I could online to get seen because I couldn't really network too much. I would have to drive 2.5, 3 hours to get to any big city. And I don't like to drive. So driving 6 hours round trip to network wasn't appealing to me. So therefore, I really had to dig deep into the internet. I began as a coach, as a divorce coach. And over the years, people started asking me, how did you get on eHarmony? How did you get on MSN? How did you get on Huffington Post Live? How did you get on Prevention? And all these other places that I have been featured on. So I sort of just morphed into being Visibility Wiz because people would start asking me, well, can you teach me to do what you've done? So now I help people get seen, and it's so much more than just being seen and being visible. It's having the confidence. I'm really big on helping people build their confidence because we are terrified of letting our hair down and letting the whole world see who we are. And all confidence is just a person being willing to take the next step, whether they're afraid or not.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Isn't that interesting how we start off with a plan thinking we're moving in one direction and then life kind of shows us something else?
Always.
Yeah, absolutely. So awesome. Well, my next question for you is, what does every day is a new day mean to you?
I love that term because I don't believe in living in the past, even if it's just an hour ago. Every second, we have the ability to be a new person and to choose to live a different way. Every moment, we have a choice to look at what we have to be grateful for or to look at all the crap that's in the world. Hope I can say that on your show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree. There's tons of crap in the world.
And all the trauma of our pasts. I know you used to, the show used to be around moving past trauma. And regardless, we all have traumas in our life. We have deaths. We have abuse. Our parents screwed us all up. Nobody had perfect parents. And I heard a saying once that we spend the first 18 years of our life trying to please our parents and the rest of our life trying to undo the crap they did to us. So every day is a new day. It's just every day is a new opportunity for you to choose who you are and how you choose to live in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though I sort of switched up the focus of the show just a little bit, to me, it's what's the right word? Inherent, inevitable, that I believe those, traumas or the challenges of the past are going to always show up in this show because that's, I think that's what it is. It's about, this is where I was and this is where I am today. And it's by, sheer choice or will or that's what mostly shows up to me, is that it's the power of our ability to choose to move forward and allow every day to be a new day that, is the gift within the challenge or whatever. That's what helps make every day a new day. So
my mom used to always share this story with me that I'd like to share, if I may.
Yeah, please.
She used to always tell me this story about a reporter who goes to the self-made millionaire. And the reporter asked the millionaire, how did you become so successful? What made you the way you are? And the millionaire says, I had a horrible father. He came home drunk every night. He beat the crap out of me, told me I was a no good for nothing son of a bitch, and I would never amount to anything. And I thought, whenever I grow up, I'm going to show him. So what else would you expect me to be with a father like mine? Then the reporter goes to a Skid Row alcoholic bum and says, what made you the way you are? The bum says, what else would you expect me to be with a father like mine? I had a horrible father. He came home drunk every night, beat the crap out of me, told me I would never amount to anything, and I was just a no good for nothing son of a bitch. So what else would you expect me to be with a father like mine? Yet the bum and the millionaire are twin brothers.
Wow.
And to me, it all comes down to choice, regardless what other people do to you. And I would love to find that little secret formula of what makes some of our minds just click and choose the successful route when we are children versus the ones that choose the non-successful route.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that story. I love that, because that perfectly illustrates how we have the ability to choose. And the other thing that really comes up for me is I think that that's also why it's so important to know the power of our words towards others, and how, they talk about, how you talk to a child, they will live up to that, or they may, right. They may easily go, oh, this teacher believes in me and that I can do anything. Okay, then I can. I believe in that too. Or if someone believes that they can't, they may be, easily skewed to believe that they can't either. So that's why it's, I think, so good to know that we have the ability to help lift and raise someone up through seeing the goodness and the potential and the greatness in them. So yeah, that's wonderful. And I just want to take a quick shout out to all those who are with us live today. If you are with us live, please do go ahead and like, comment, and share this with those who you think may also benefit from this show. And we love having you here with us. And so moving on, Cindy, let's get started. Let's move into your entrepreneurial journey. I know you have a fun story to share with us, and I would love to hear that story.
I believe I was just a born entrepreneur. When I was younger, I lived near Los Angeles riverbed, and I used to like to go to this park. And naturally, you could pay to go swimming, you could pay to do their games, do different things, as well as the free stuff. On the other side of the riverbed from the park, there was a golf course. So the golfers would lose their golf balls in the riverbed. My girlfriend and I would go to the LA riverbed. So dangerous. I would say, don't do this, at home. It's interesting, the things that I did as children, I would have died had my children done them. This is one of them. But I would go into the riverbed and collect all these golf balls and take them home and wash them, then take them back to the golfers and sell them. And that's how I got my money for all my treats that I wanted at the park.
Oh my goodness. And did those golfers know what you had done?
I really don't think they cared. Some of them may have asked. I really don't remember, but we used to, there's three of us, me and two of my girlfriends, we used to do that all the time. It's just the way we would get money, and it worked.
I love that. And okay, About how old were you when you did that?
About 10. I started whenever I was about 10, and I probably did that till I was about 13. So it was a long venture. It wasn't just one summer. It was a pretty long venture. I think I stopped whenever I started in high school because boys were way more important to me at that time.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. How funny. Well, That says to me that you've had confidence even like back then to believe that you can go and get these used golf balls, right? Mm-hmm. Clean them up and sell them, and that people actually bought them from you. I mean, that says a lot. It's not so much that you're selling golf balls, it's that you're selling through your confidence.
Right. I always would have said, I got married at 18 and I went into the party scene, per se, not like drugs and stuff, but the party scene, the home parties, Tupperware, crystal, Christmas decorations, right?
But you clarified what kind of party scene. That's awesome.
And with these parties, though, all the hostesses always loved me because I would always do so good with them. I had my second baby at 21. I had my first at 20, my second at 21. Back then, minimum wage was like nothing. I think I brought home like $500 or $600 a month with a full-time job at a bank. And whenever I had my
minimum wage at a bank,
I was no, but more than minimum wage. But yeah, that's how long ago it was.
Okay. Wow.
But whenever my son was born, because there wasn't all these childcare things that there are today, even in companies. So I had a 15-month-old and a newborn baby. And everybody that I contacted wanted $450 a month to watch him. So that was a no-brainer. There's no way I was going to work for $150 a month and be away from my babies. My husband took a second job, and he worked like day and night for a year and came down really sick just from overworking himself. So I decided I was going to start my own home business. And I checked into babysitting. That didn't really appeal to me too much. And I checked into the parties, right? Tupperware, crystal, Christmas stuff. But I wound up selling Tupperware. And back then, this was in the early 80s, one of the things that really appealed to me about Tupperware was that a manager would get a car. Tupperware managers still get cars. They get some sort of a van or something. But Tupperware paid everything for this car except for gas. I mean, they paid for the oil changes. They paid for tires. They paid for the car. They paid for the insurance. So I thought, I want a car, right? My husband and I had one car, and he always took it to work. And I was stuck at home with two babies. So whenever I started selling Tupperware, that was one of my biggest things. Within 6 to 8 weeks, I'm trying to remember, I became a manager. I was really one of the quickest people to ever become a Tupperware manager. And in that time period, I had to recruit 5 people, personally sell $2,000 worth of Tupperware, and with me and the people underneath us, sell $5,000 worth of Tupperware. And I wanted that car so much that I achieved it really quickly to have this car. I was a Tupperware manager for 5 years, which was nice because it allowed me to stay at home with the babies until they started school and still be able to bring in income. And my husband didn't have to work 2 jobs and kill himself.
Wow.
So I believe I was a natural born entrepreneur. I have always done something. The second I heard about the internet, I thought, I'm going to have an internet business. I began my first internet business in 2001. My first website went live on September 10th, 2001. And I remember that.
Cindy, you're a pioneer.
It was the day before 9/11. That's the only reason why I remember it so much. But I sold little pewter figurines. Yeah.
Wow.
And it just took me a long time for me to grow my confidence and overcome some of the own trauma in my life to become a life coach. I worked in social services for 20 years. So becoming a coach was, I think, innately within me because I've always loved helping people.
So you just said it took you a long time to build your confidence to become a coach, but it sounds like it didn't take you very long to build your confidence to be an entrepreneur.
True. I've always done something. I don't know. It's just innate in me, I think. It's hard to say, but I never had a hard time selling stuff or talking about things that I'm passionate about. If I believe in it, I have no problem sharing about it. If I don't believe in it, it's... Yeah, my ex-husband was very, very controlling. I was with him for almost 20 years. Ironically, we was remodeling our house, and things were just really horrible. And he told me to get some kitchen cabinets at such and such size. He did not trust my measurements. So I ordered these cabinets with the size he told me, which turned out to be wrong. But it was my fault because everything was my fault. He threw such a fit that he forced me to get a second job to, quote unquote, pay for my mistakes. And during this time, I started telemarketing. It was super easy. I worked for 3 different telemarketers. One of them was selling you may have seen those little gift books where get a free haircut or get a free hamburger at McDonald's, right? Stuff like that. And so that's what I did. And I became their number 1 salesperson really fast. Then they went out of business. And I got a second telemarketing job selling home alarm systems. And not selling the appointments for the salesperson to go show the home alarms. Within a month, I was the number 1 appointment setter. And then they went out of business or something happened. I got my 3rd telemarketing job. And this was to schedule appointments for people to go to a video dating service. Now, you have to remember, this was in the 90s, and internet dating was not cool, probably wasn't even heard of at that time.
Right.
But I didn't like their ethics. To me, they were really sneaky. They were underhanded. They were like worse than a used car salesman. They just really were. And I did horrible. I didn't believe they didn't align with my values and my beliefs. So I couldn't sell any of them. I was there for 3 months to not make one single appointment because I didn't believe in it. So if I believe in something, I'm definitely all in and confident about it. But if I don't believe in it, don't ask me to sell it because I'm not going to. The reason I said ironically, because working this second job is what gave me the confidence to leave my husband, my first husband. So I say that's why I always found it very funny. He forced me to get a second job, but that second job gave me the confidence to leave him because at that time, I was making like $10 an hour in social services, and he was making $75K a year. I thought, how am I going to raise 2 teenagers on $10 an hour? But working that second job gave me the confidence to leave him because, hey, if he didn't give me money, I could still support my kids.
Right.
And this is why I began being a divorce coach in the first place.
Wow, Cindy. So what I'm gathering from you so far right now is that number 1, let's say visibility tip, and feel free to correct me, but what I'm gathering is number 1 visibility tip is, of course, believe in the product or service that you're selling.
Exactly. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, right. Believe in yourself. Would you be able to share maybe a few other visibility tips with our audience?
Specific tips. One of the things that I really like, number 1 is being a guest on other people's podcasts and stuff. But if you're not comfortable with video, and that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, is a lot of people, they will have their blog or they will go and try to be a guest blogger in other places. To me, it's how I started was, let's say if you are a diet coach, then you look at the first page of Google, say for diet, and you look at who comes up in the top 10 and see if any of them accept guest articles. If they accept a guest article, then you can put your article out there. You always have room for a bio, so you can ask them to opt into your list. And this is one of the easiest and fastest way to get on the homepage of Google, regardless what niche you are in and regardless what keywords, because they're already ranking high.
Right.
So therefore, whenever you write a good article and you submit it to them, if they post it, you're going to rank high because they've already done all the work. And this is a lot faster and a lot easier than trying to build up a huge audience with your own blog whenever you're first starting out.
Oh my gosh, Cindy, that is like a gem of a visibility tip. Thank you so much. That never even occurred to me. I've heard so much about looking up, Google AdWords and all these things, but never even thought to do it that way. And that makes total sense though, because years ago, 5 years ago, I started out as an interview coach. And one of the ways that I started to gain some traction is because I just happened upon someone else's site who did accept guest blogging, and I submitted and they accepted it. And so that was like, that was exciting and fun, but never even occurred to me to search that way. So I love that. Thank you so much. Okay, tell us more.
More. Okay. I would say one of my other favorite tactics is really, just trying to think here. You want to, on social media, you want to toot your own horn. A lot of people don't toot their own horn. What they do is, I'm going to sit there and tell them, this is Kim's quote, this is Mary's quote, this is John's quote. But you have an article, and with any post, if you write a 500-word post, you can create 100 different pieces of social media content out of that post. And by all means, toot your own horn. Take different sentences out of your post, make the little pretty graphics on them with social media, and put your name on it. Don't ever put something in. Besides your name, also put your website on the graphics. So many people on social media, they share everybody else's stuff, but they don't share their own. And you probably heard of Canva. I don't use Canva very much because I know Adobe Photoshop, so I will utilize that. Okay. But I know that my VA will utilize Canva, and a lot of people use that. And you can go and you can pick your little graphics, but be sure you put your own URL on it and quote yourself. A lot of people, I heard a statistic that graphics are like the number one shared thing. However, less than 5% of the people create their own.
Wow, less than 5%.
That was a statistic I heard just in the last 6 months. I was shocked myself. Yeah, less than 5%. Because we're constantly sharing other people's stuff, but we're not creating our own.
Okay, I have a question for you because I've heard that before about share your own stuff, get your own stuff out there. But there's also sort of like this balance that maybe I'll just be speaking for me, but this balance that I've noticed I feel like I need to develop, because I share my own stuff, but then I also want to support others by sharing their stuff too, right? And there's that kind of like networking that goes on there. So do you have any thoughts about how to balance that, or any thoughts about that?
I do both. I have no problem sharing. I love sharing other people's stuff. I'm in a community. It's one of the speakers on the Rocking Online Visibility Summit. Her name's Joey Garrity. She used to work in the movie industry. And I just she was a guest on my podcast, and she tells you about the movie industry, how they really share credit. You watch a movie, you have all the credits roll in it. And so she calls us we people, where it's not all about me, it's about you and me. So we are a we community. And with the we community, just in my mind, I don't think I think we. So I would probably say with the stuff that I do is probably 50-50. And as far as promoting myself, I try to keep that less than 20% because I want to give more value. So it's value first and selling second, because I really only want to work with the people that are my ideal clients. If they're not right for me, I will love it that I have resources that I can send them to other people.
So it sounds like kind of this balance, right? Between sharing your own stuff, but also, sharing other people's stuff, but making sure that you've got your own stuff to actually share. So you're not sharing your stuff ever. Awesome. Some of my clients, whenever they've came to me, there's one in particular I'm thinking of. Her entire 100% Twitter feed is 100% everybody else's stuff. Her entire blog is 100% other people's stuff. And she's like, but hey, Oprah just interviews people. I'm like, but yes and no. Oprah still knows how to brand herself. Oprah wouldn't be Oprah without being branded. And Oprah is going to allow herself to shine, even though she maybe shines a little bit in the background because she likes to put the spotlight on her guests. But if you're just showing everything else about everybody else and constantly sharing all this stuff, and she has some super, super great content, my client, nobody knows who she is and what she stands for. So there's both ways. If you're just promoting everybody else, nobody knows you. So how can they
trust you enough to hire you. Now, my client has gotten all of her clients through speaking in person.
Nice.
And this is how the people know her, because whenever she goes in person, this is whenever she's bringing her, but she hasn't brought her to the online world.
Okay.
And this is where, I'm helping her step up to the online world. So you do always have to have that balance of sharing other people's stuff, but also toot your own horn. If you don't toot your own horn, nobody else is. Whenever you start talking about yourself in a positive way, then other people are going to pick up on it, and that's how they're going to talk about you as well.
Nice. So on that note, I would like to ask you, can you think of a time when, because it sounds like, and of course I don't know that person, but it sounds like it's possible she might have a limiting belief about being online versus being in person, somewhere in there that, so where I'm going with,
there was, yeah, definitely some limiting beliefs. It wasn't really even a value thing. It was because she's very self-confident. She has really worked through a lot of her inner game. But, we always have the layers of the onion that don't appear until we're ready to deal with them.
Exactly.
And I think this was it, because as soon as I told her, you're hiding behind other people, a light bulb went off on her head. So it wasn't like anything she had to work with really long. She got it really quick.
Nice.
Yeah. And she was at the place, sort of like whenever you're ready, whenever the student's ready, the teacher will come.
Yeah. So with that said, I would like to ask you, can you think of a time when you had a limiting belief, but you no longer have?
No, I never.
You tell.
Most of my limiting beliefs really was around my personal value. And like you said, I was confident, but whenever it came to me, selling me as a person was a lot harder. I could sell Tupperware, I could sell crystal, I could sell those golf balls. But as far as me having something valuable to give, I was not a confident person. I went through a lot of trauma in my life. I always felt like I had to be who other people wanted me to be. My father was very abusive. I got married at 18 to get away from him, but I married my father minus the sexual abuse and stayed in a 20-year mentally abusive marriage. And my daughter, whenever she was a teenager, she used to go, God, Mom, I don't know why you don't leave Dad. You have to ask him to go to the grocery store. So I 100% was living my life for other people. When I was 35, I had my first coach, and she told me, your life is your choice. I thought, what? You're crazy, lady. There's no way my life is my choice. At that time that she told me this, I was grieving over the death of both of my parents. I was grieving the death over my grandmother. I was grieving the death over my ex's grandmother, and I was grieving the death of his brother, plus some other aunts and uncles. So within a 2-year period, we had like 10 deaths in our family. And my mom's death was the hardest for me to deal with, but I didn't feel confident. 1 week after my mother died, my ex told me that he didn't love me, but was going to stay with me for the kids. So I was in a really deep, dark place when this lady told me, your life is your choice. I mean, I thought, There's no way I wanted everybody to die. There's no way I wanted my husband to not love me. There's no way I wanted to feel like this orphan and all alone in the world. So this was a lot of my journey of building up. Whenever I said, I was confident even back then in selling other people's stuff, but to even be on a video or to be talked about me, it was like, no way, because I had to be a different person. I used to always say I learned how to be the boss's wife.
Wow.
I learned how to talk, how to act, how to walk, how to dress, everything. When I started dating my current husband, we was at this park, and we was drinking some 32-ounce sodas from a fast food place. I spilled the soda all over Mike's truck. Mike jumped out of the back of the truck and started cleaning it up. I curled up into a little ball. Before this time, I thought mental abuse was hogwash. I didn't think it existed. I curled up into a little ball, started rocking and chanting, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Mike
Oh.
looked at me with the most confused look on his face and said, "Baby, you have nothing to be sorry about." I started sobbing. And Mike sat on that wet, sticky seat for 3 hours while I sobbed out almost 40 years of abuse, basically.
Oh.
Mike's love and support is one thing that really helped me even become more confident. This man supports me regardless what I do. Like, I've been working super hard on getting all the pieces together for the Rocking Online Visibility Summit. He has absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but he's 100% supportive of me. And so I had so many beliefs that I had to get rid of because of all of the crap and the trauma of the first 40 years of my life, that, to try to even say one belief, because it's really been this journey of just letting go, of letting go, of letting go. It's one of the reasons I started coaching divorced women. I felt very safe with women, but I was afraid of the big bad man. I was afraid he was going to crush me like an ant. So I had to let go of that. I had to let go of this limiting belief that men were out to get me, because men aren't out to get me. They're just doing their thing like I'm doing my thing. So there's a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of confidence issues in my value, in the value that I have to offer and the gifts that I have to offer the world.
Wow, that's a really powerful story. And thank you so much for sharing it. So what helped you to move beyond that limiting belief? It sounds like definitely the support of your new husband,
right?
And also possibly your coach, I'm gathering.
Yeah, definitely my coach, and determination.
And determination.
Determination. Okay. Determination. I did not like feeling the way that I felt. I did not like living in the shadows of somebody else. I didn't like somebody else telling me how to live my life. So I wanted to take my life back. Sort of like I said, my coach told me, your life is your choice. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So on that note, what is something that you are grateful for?
I'm grateful for everything. I really am. I'm just grateful for life. Gosh, I don't know that I could just say one thing. I'm grateful. Yeah. I'm very grateful for the internet and the opportunity to reach so many people and help so many people in this era that we're in. 20 years ago, nobody would have thought that we could interact this way. So I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this. And naturally, I'm grateful for my family, forever grateful for my first coach, but I'm just grateful for being able to utilize my experiences, the bad things that happened to me, and help somebody live a better, happier life, help somebody succeed in their business.
I love it. So I want to go back to about believing in yourself and being able to sell, your coaching services and who you are, as a coach. What would you say really helps you to gain confidence in that?
Whenever I first started coaching back in 2009, I charged $200 a month. And
Okay, a month. There we go. A month. Got it.
A month. I charged $200 a month. Yes. And I don't know where I heard it or something, but I heard some tactic, some sales tactic. So what I would start doing is I say, I typically charge, or my fee is $250 a month, but in the month of March, you get a discount and it's only $200 a month. And I worked my way up literally from 200 to where I'm at today. And it was simply because whenever I started increasing my rates, nobody ever said, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you're charging that much." Even the people that didn't hire me thought, okay, whatever. So that helped boost my confidence to ask for what I get today. Yeah.
Good. So it
Baby
sounds like
steps.
baby steps. I love it. So you kind of experimented and threw some new things out there, and
Yeah. Part of it also, one of my coaches, one of my first coaches, he constantly told me, you are not a social service worker. That I had a social service mentality because I worked in social services for 20 years. So because I worked in social services with a lot of people that were really poverty stricken, that's the way I was viewing the world. So that's why it was even hard for me to ask for more than $200 a month, because of the people that I had worked with in my 9-to-5 job. And I really had to get out of that mentality of, I'm not a social service worker. I'm not here to give away my services.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I love that you mentioned that. And so there's this quote that's coming to mind, although I've got to be honest, I'm not even fully remembering the quote, just the essence of it. But I know you're familiar with Steve Olsher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Okay.
one of the, he is actually speaking on the Rocking Online Visibility Summit.
Yes, I saw that. So I recently heard him. He's coined this phrase, which again, I'm not going to repeat it verbatim anyway, he says something about, you didn't mean to become an unintentional philanthropist or something of that nature. Do you recall him saying something like that before?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay. But yeah, so again, that's not the exact phrase he uses, but it's something along those lines. And I just love that because it's the whole thing about, continually giving away everything for free and not being paid for your services. And that's not what it's about. And I think that so many of us fall into that trap, at least when we first get started. And I know that's something that I've been, working through and learning from, and how to, shift away from that. So it's really good to shine a light.
What's interesting even about giving yourself stuff away, your services and whatever, because I did work with divorced women and they're going through trauma, they're going through grief. It's a really difficult time. Even whenever I started raising my rates, and a lot of the big people always tell you they won't give away stuff for free because people don't value it. And I thought, no way, man. If somebody would have given me something, I would have utilized it, right? And it was very interesting because there was a few different times where I did offer my services for free because of where the person was or what was going on in their life. There was a period of time where I did a group program, and I would give a complimentary, really they would win it. I would like draw names and they would win a complimentary seat into this group program. And not one single person ever utilized it, not one. The person that I offered my services for free called me one time and never called me back. I told this woman I would coach her for 6 months for free. And at the end of the 6 months, wherever she was and whatever she could afford to pay me, she could pay me. That was our deal. And she only attended one session. And I thought, you have to be willing to really pay for something and see the value of it. Because we can always afford what we want. We can always afford what we see the value in it. Even the people that are poverty stricken, I worked with them for years. You would be surprised at some of the things that they afforded in their lives. So if you really want something and you see the value in it, you will find a way.
And I think, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's a tough lesson to learn.
Yeah, well, and I think, part of that journey of going from giving everything away for free to recognizing the value in your own services is also this realization that you're still, like, everyone has a freebie, right? So it's not like you're not going to have freebie. You still have freebies that you give away. You still have those opt-ins that are of value, but it's kind of like striking that balance again between, well, okay, you've got this freebie, but then not everything is free, to really,
Exactly.
Any thoughts about that?
My time is valuable. My one-on-one time is valuable. And I mean, I'm really giving a lot on a one-on-one time. And so giving away an opt-in gift, something I wrote, is so much different, and it is valuable. but also every single thing you do, everything you put on social media, every post you write, whether it's on your site or somebody else's, you are being visible and you can really help people. Earlier this year, I haven't divorce coached in about a year now, but earlier this year, somebody sent on my Facebook page wrote, I just wanted to say thank you so much. You changed my life. I never could have gotten through my divorce without you. I couldn't be living the happy life that I'm living without you. And I never once spoke to this person in person. Never heard her name. It was all through my free stuff.
Wow. Oh, I love that. And that's, wow. Yeah. I love stuff like that. I've had a few little experiences like that, and it just, doesn't it help keep you going, feeling like you're on the right path, you're giving what you're here to give, offer, serve.
Mm-hmm. That is truly what lights me up, is whenever I really feel that I've helped somebody else.
Oh, I love that. So Cindy, what is something that maybe most people don't know about you that you would like people to know about you?
I don't know.
Something unique that maybe you haven't shared with a lot of people that would help them to see deeper into who you are. Because I find you fascinating. From our interview on the Rocking Online Visibility Summit to just today, I really love, just hearing your stories and your insight.
Yeah, that is one thing even about me that took me a while to realize, that my storytelling is a very unique gift. And I love telling stories.
It is.
And I can utilize different stories even about business. So, gosh, something unique about me. It's really hard. And the first thing that pops into my mind, hey, whenever you're at this little networking thing and somebody's like, what's unique about you? The two things that I always say, which really it is true, but it's not per se about me, is that I was a month old before I got named because my mother thought I was going to die, and Hurricane Cindy came around, so that's how I got my name. I'm not Cynthia, I'm Cindy after Hurricane Cindy.
That is very unique. That's excellent.
And the second thing that's even more unique, we were pretty poor. My parents were pretty poor. We lived on my grandmother's chicken farm, and my father was building our house when I was born. So when I was born, we actually lived in a chicken house in Arkansas. I was born in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, and we lived in a chicken house.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that totally fits the bill. So, okay, thank you for answering that.
But it's just hard because I just always see me as being me. And I have learned just to be me. You either like me or you don't. And there's a quote that I absolutely love. It says, your opinion of me is none of my business. It took me a very long time to really grasp that. One thing, regardless where you're at in your business, in your life, we all have struggles, whether you're making 6 figures a year or $5 a year. We all have struggles. And my favorite ultimate quote of all time is by Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission.
Yes, that's one of my favorites too.
The reason that I love this quote so much is because you can take that word inferior and change it with any other feeling in the world. No one can make you feel angry without your permission. No one can make you feel loved without your permission. No one can make you feel valued without your permission. I don't care what word you put in there, it fits.
Oh, I love that. That's so true. Yes, absolutely. So, okay. So I'm loving speaking with you today, Cindy. So just thank you. We're not even done, but I want to say thank you right now for being here today with me. And our viewers. So those that are live and those that will be seeing us on the replay, thank you so much. You earlier were talking about recognizing your own value so that you can sell that, so you can be visible and share that. And to me, one thing that is really proven to be really important and understanding your own value is knowing how to fill your own cup up first.
Right.
How, self-care, things of that nature. So I would love to know, what are some ways that you, give to yourself, and what ways do you self-care for you?
I meditate every day. I have an app. I love this app, Insight Timer.
Yes.
And
okay.
I like the Insight Timer app simply because it just helps you keep track, and you get the little stars, yay. But I'm almost at 500 straight days of meditating.
Wow.
So I'm really big on meditating. Now, grant you, every day hasn't been like a long time. There's been some that it was only 2 minutes, but I always make sure that I take at least a couple minutes to meditate and to reground myself. So meditation, definitely. One of my favorite self-indulgences is very long, hot bubble baths. I love bubble baths. So that's definitely a self-care. And I like yoga. I'm not as consistent with it as I would like to be. And I love to read. So those all have a lot to do with my self-care. My husband makes me laugh every single day. He is just funny. He has the greatest sense of humor. And so laughing is the best medicine. And I think that's a huge part of self-care. Find something to laugh about. Mike and I can laugh at the silliest, stupidest, craziest things ever. And you can really, find things to laugh at and smile, because that is, to me, one of the biggest self-cares, because it releases so much stress just to laugh.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Going back to meditation, is there a particular day or time of day that you prefer to do your meditation that works best for you?
I like the mornings. I do like the mornings the best. I find whenever I get up and I do the morning, my day typically goes better.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Not too long ago, my husband, I woke up late. My alarm didn't go off, and he wanted me to take him somewhere. And I said, well, can you wait 10 minutes for me to meditate? And he was like, didn't really want to wait. But I was not in a good mood the rest of the day. And he's like, next time I'm just going to let you meditate, because you're so much happier whenever you meditate.
That's
awesome. It was sort of funny because, that's how much he could even tell the difference, where it's just like, go more with the flow. And it wasn't that I was horrible, but, we all have our days. And it definitely wasn't one of my days, because I don't like just getting up and going. And that's what I had to do that morning, was just, it's like, why didn't you wake me up earlier? Well, you knew we were going. You should have set your alarm. I did. My alarm didn't go off, right? So it's just this weird, stupid moment. And because I only had like 5 minutes to get up and get dressed and leave, it ruined my whole day.
Well, shout out to your husband, because he just sounds like an amazing husband. All the things that you shared with us so far, I'm very happy for you. Yeah, he's a keeper, for sure. Okay, so along those lines, I love the self-care tips you gave. Very nurturing. Love it. So along those lines, though, do you have any creative outlets that also support you in maybe self-care, or just being creative within your business and helping you to remember who you are and the value you have to offer others?
Creative. Okay, yes. I love to write. I definitely love to write. I say, as far as being an outlet, let's say my youngest grandson, he can be a hoot whenever I see him. Definitely can be creative with him, because he is very highly imaginative. And my biggest hobby is genealogy. Ooh. It's very interesting with genealogy, and some of the things that I even learned, and I definitely believe this, so much of who we are has to do with our ancestry. And not just, like I'm 38% Irish. So it's not just that I'm mostly Irish. I already knew that because my mom was almost pure Irish. But I knew about this. But whenever I find different stories about these people, it's very interesting how some of these values and beliefs have just been passed down. One thing is my ex-husband had never mind.
That's okay.
I don't know if I should say it or not.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We are getting closer to the end of today, and I would love for you to share with the audience more about your upcoming Rocking Online Visibility Summit, which I'm really I know, right? Yeah, share with us.
The reason why I created this summit was so many summits have all these different speakers that are like rehashing the same thing over and over and over again. And there wasn't any follow through. And you can go somewhere without follow through and follow up. It's really hard for the transformation to change. And so I put together, the next time won't be this many speakers, but I put together 42 speakers. Each speaker speaks about a different topic. Now, there's quite a few about mindset, different parts of mindset, which is yours truly, you, talking about perfectionism. But then, I have somebody talking about Facebook Live, somebody talking about Facebook challenges, somebody talking about Facebook ads, somebody talking about Twitter, because I wanted people to see all of the different ways they could be visible. Now, the first thing is, and I know I get this all the time, oh my God, there's so much out there, I don't know where to start. So I wanted to show everybody what's out there, and I'm also giving everybody little cheat sheets, little follow-along cheat sheets that they can use with each speaker, but also rate what the speaker's saying. How passionate are you about this? What skills do you have that's going to help you with this strategy or skill? Because this is going to help you at the end choose the right strategy for you, because we don't have to do everything. We just need to choose one strategy and get good at it, then do the second, etc. And so I really wanted it to be a complete step-by-step, start-to-finish roadmap for people to get in the right mindset to be visible, the exact strategies to be visible, and then the follow through, what to do now that you have the visibility, and how to rock your business.
I love it. And it's a 2-week long summit, correct?
That's right. I said it was 14 days because it's 14 days of speakers. So that doesn't even include weekends. It's going to start on May 14th and the last speaker is on May 31st. So it is a long summit. However, you can get all 42 speakers at an awesome price if you upgrade to the VIP All Access Pass. If you upgrade to VIP All Access Pass before it starts on May 14th, it's only $47. So then you'll get everybody's videos. You'll also get audio so you can easily listen to them anywhere. And then you will get a few bonuses. Some of my speakers gave some fantastic bonuses that you'll also get that's valued at way more to $47. So for $47, you will actually have everything you need to get confident, get visible, and grow your business.
That is exciting. And so, yeah, so it's starting in a week on May 14th. And I'm excited because I'm on day 1. So for those that register, you'll get to hear our conversation on the limitations of perfectionism and how that gets in the way of being visible. That it was really a fun conversation with you, Cindy. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. And you had some really valuable insights on perfectionism that I'd never really thought of in that way before. And that's why I love speaking to different speakers and different coaches, because we all bring our own unique perspective. And so with the people listening to us, even the people listening to you and I right now, they can pick up something that you're saying and something that I'm saying and put it together and create their own masterpiece.
Absolutely. And that's what I also love about, you could have 2 different people who are doing the exact same thing, and yet each person puts their own unique spin on it. And if we can get to the place where we see the value in that, then that can also give you the confidence to say, hey, it's okay that I'm sort of talking about the same subject because I am not that person, I'm me. And so that's where my value shines.
Yeah. And that's where the mindset and the confidence comes in, is as women, we were taught to be caretakers, to be givers. one of my guests had stated that if you ask a 5-year-old girl what type of pizza she wants, she'll say, "Oh, I want a cheese pizza." But you ask the same girl in junior high school, she's going to go, "Oh, I don't know. What do you want?"
Oh gosh, yes.
So as women, we are taught like not to be ourselves. And so we put on these fake personas of who we believe, that's the key word, we believe other people want us to be. And we're not fulfilling our own gifts and we're not being uniquely us. But once you let go of that fake persona and you're just you, warts and all, that's whenever you're really free to give of yourself. And that's whenever magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, to me, it's a whole shifting of the beliefs, accepting yourself and seeing how amazing you are. Yeah, absolutely. So I will share.
If I can share one last story,
Yes.
just because you was even talking about like things with unique. My husband and I, one Thanksgiving, for some dumb reason, my daughter lives in Las Vegas, and for some dumb reason, we decided to come home on Sunday. Don't ever try to drive from Las Vegas to Los Angeles area on a Sunday. Not the wisest idea. It typically takes us 3 hours to get home, and it took us like almost 10. So we're on the highway, and I'm like dancing and singing to the music, and Mike's like, "You are just so weird. People around us are probably thinking I'm sitting in this car with the biggest weirdo ever." And I said, "I'm not weird." And he goes, "Yes, you are. You was born weird, honey." And I go, "No, I wasn't." But then I thought to myself, "Okay, Mike, I was born weird. However, I was inhibited most of my life, and now I'm free to let my weirdness show." And whenever, as far as visibility is concerned online, whenever you really, it's scary at first to let your weirdness show, but whenever you let your weirdness show, that's whenever you're really being authentic and you can connect to more people.
I completely agree. Yes, yes, yes. It's just tons of freedom and just, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, so we are at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I'm thank you for sharing that though, because I love that. So I am going to share my link for the Rocking Online Visibility Summit for those that would like to register and join. It was fantastic speaking with Cindy. And when I didn't know all the different people that were going to be part of it until recently, as you started to share it and put the links out there. And so it's really exciting to see all the different speakers and topics that are discussed in that. So if you're an entrepreneur of any kind and trying to gain visibility and just, gain confidence in being, an entrepreneur and selling your services, then definitely recommend signing up for the Rocking Online Visibility Summit. And Cindy, where else are there any other sort of contacts that you want to share with people in case they want to connect with you beyond this show?
If they want to check out my website, my blog is cindyjholbrook.com. I also have a Facebook group, Get Seen, Get Known, and Get Clients. So if you want to connect with me there, that would be great too.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today and all of our guests. And I hope that you know that there is always hope. Wherever you are today, it does not have to be where you are tomorrow, because every day truly can be a new day. And it all boils down to choice and seeing things in a different light. So have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.